Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good night to all my friends and lecturer Miss Abida. So today I want to present to you my informative speech, which is to inform to you about the dark side of video game industry. So we will start by the introduction, which is I will tell you about the game industry that people see on the surface. Then we goes to the presentation part, which is to introduce about the dark side of video game industry. And then we go to the analysis, which we will discuss on the factors that affect the dark side of video game industry. And then lastly is conclusion on how video game industry had affect the workers and the games developer. So I took one quote from one of character in Metal Gear Solid 4, which is Big Boss. Was the name? Yeah, Big Boss. So his quote is, "Boss, you were right. It's not about changing the world. It is about doing our best to live the world the way it is about respecting the will of others and believing in your own." What actually the character try to tell to us is, we must do our best before we leave the world, because uh, when we do what the best from us to the world, people might remember everything about our good deed to the people outside there. So I'll start from the introduction. Video games have already been created since a few long years ago in helping us to release our stress and fatigue. As I can say, video game already been helping most of the people, not only young but also the adults, to have some fun time. Like video game helping uh, bonding a relationship between a family. And then video game, as we can say, started to evolve from the 2D type until now the 3D type of image that make it look almost too real, which is I can say, I take Grand Theft Auto as an example, which is in 2007, no, the 2002 before, Grand Theft Auto Chinatown, if I'm not mistaken. uh, the graphic was in 2D image. I mean, like the flat surface, you just see the character from one side only, from the back side only. But now, uh, the release of the new Grand Theft Auto 5, you can see how it looks too real to you. I mean, like, you can see from the not only the back side of the character, you can see from the front, from the downside, from the left or right. You can see from all around of the character. So in the start of 2017, we can see that people started to make the profit from only playing video game as their sources of income. This show that the increasing of the game industry in around the world already increasing. Uh, in every day, we can see the increasing of the live game streamers. I mean, not from only YouTube, but we can see around the Facebook also. There's a lot of live streaming gamers. Like they play all kind of games, but mostly was the most popular game like the Witchers, the Witchers. I think the Witchers, the Grand Theft Auto, FIFA, Pro Evolution Soccer, or I mean like Call Pass, and etc. So most of the people make this as the part of income. Then I goes to the term of revenue. I mean from the budget, from the investor. So we can say that the video game industry received more budget, around $139 billion, if compared to the combination of NBA, MLB, NHL, music and film industry, which is compared to them only received 99 billion. Video games alone receive more budget than these. I mean, like these six of industry. So for those who didn't know about this, what I say, uh, NBA is National Basketball Association, which is you saw in the TV. mostly play in the America, the basketball. Uh, MLB was a Major League Baseball, and Asia is National Hockey League. And one more is NFL. I don't remember. I don't remember the NFL yet. Um, this shows that the investor had more trust issue on the video games rather than the other industry that made them believe that this kind of industry bring more profit to them also. Which is I mean the investor trust on the video game industry that can bring more profit. I mean like more profit to them, not only from the kind of money, but kind of fame. When the investors started to, I mean, invest in kind of this video game industry, the video game company or industry might credit to the investor also. But actually, when there is a big value of revenue from the investor, it will means that the workload and the force will become more heavy to the developer of the game and also the worker, because they need to work a lot on the game itself. So yeah, you can see on the right side here, the chart show about the percentage of the revenue that is received by each of the industry. Then we goes to, okay, but the real side of the video game industry is there aren't people knowing on how the industry is actually going. Uh, until now, it is already become a toxic to the not only the worker but also to the games developer itself, until they had a term called crunch that popular amongst them, which is the crunch is a term in famously in the India's contract, which is as an example, when a video game developer or video game designer started to sign a contract with any video game industry, which is there is a term saying that they can't complain anything about their work time, workload, and anything. And if they do any complaint, so they will be fired without, I mean, like they will be fired immediately without compensation or anything. So let me tell you the truth about the real side of video game industry that might be most of you didn't know. Uh, Firstly, the factor was the microtransaction model. This kind of model already being used to gain the money from the players to the game. Basically, this kind of scam to the players of the video game itself, but they call it the right method for this kind of scam. I mean, before this microtransaction model actually being used in the drug dealer, which is they give for you to taste or to have it for free for the first time, and then for the second time you want to taste it, you have to buy it. They just give it to you for the first time for free only, but then after you feel really want for the second time, you have to buy it. It's the same method used in the video game industry. So actually this microtransaction model had already been used and implemented in many kind of new game that actually being played on the online side. uh, yeah, the picture on the right side shows one example of the online video game, which is a Call of Duty Modern Warfare. You can see that the gold coin being offered from the 200 gold coin until the 13,000 gold coin, which is each indifferent of value in money, which is started from only $1.99 for 200 gold coin until $99.99 for 13,000 gold coin. So each of the value of the gold coin has different advantage to the play itself. And then actually I take to you the Fortnite game as example that show that microtransaction actually make play believe to spend more money on their character, which is they want to make up your mind, which is the more you invest your money, the more you top up, the more you invest your money on your character, the more and the big advantage you get before you. I mean, like the more and the big advantage you get around the other players. Uh, as an example, I saw down here in the picture there, the first player will play the Fortnite for free. Then after that, player can pay or even we call as top up to buy another equipment such as the new knife, the new blade, or even a new dance type. Uh, you can see on the right side of the image I provided on the downside, it shows that the shop, online shopping, I mean the online shop in the Fortnite session, showing the new character named Burnout, the new item for the spade, I think the tactical spade, which is costly around 500 silver coin, I think, and then the new characters and new items. So this new item actually make player had more advantage than any other players, but they need to spend money on their side. So this shows that the video game I think from any company also just want to create profit by gaining the money from the players. But this kind of microtransaction only not burdening the player, but also the game developer itself as the worker itself also, because they need to work harder in terms of working hour, because they just have to work more than average working hour just to do the updates to the game. An interview by a Netflix TV show named Patriot Act, I think the Patriot Act by Hasan Minhaj. They interview one of the game designer named Osama Darius. He said that sometimes they're required to work more than 14 to 16 hours, not including yet the overtime that can goes to more than 5 or 6 hours. So this shows that the welfare of the game developers, the workers of the video game industry, not be taken care well by the video game company itself. This show also, I mean that the video game company only want to create profit, but not taking care about their workers and video game developer itself. Um, I can conclude. I can conclude in the first point is this kind of microtransaction model not only burdening the player from kind of investment of the money, but also to the game developer itself, because they need to release more new features in terms of to satisfy the player itself. Yeah, you can see on the picture on the right side. So the second point is the gender discrimination. A report by Washington Post on August 24, state that the woman, I mean the video game player from women's side already achieved 48%, half of the male of video games player. But in terms of women participation as a game developers, report by IGDA, International Game Developer Association in 2017 shows that only 26% of women participation as a game developer, more less than males, which is 74%. Um, this shows that we can say that women not interesting as a video game developer. Some women are interesting in to becoming as a game developer, but they didn't been giving a right through or mean a right way or right chance for them to become a good game developer, because there is stigma in our community saying that only men can do the game developer rather than the woman itself. Uh, the based on the report by Cheddar Sports, one of the esport media company, state that Riot Games, one of the video games company named Riot Games, has been filed with many lawsuit cases regarding about the sexism and the gender discrimination factors. But in the new cases that the file has just the company has just been sued. I think they're being sued by one of the worker itself. And also, the new report has been told that one of their executive just been uh, I think being sued by the community because he spread a hatred comment regarding about the new issues happen in the United States of America regarding about the new issues about the George Floyd. So I mean like this show that the video games company not only becoming a good character to another video games company but also show a misleading to another video games company about their taking care about their welfare on the worker, especially on the women. Um, there are also the report by Kotaku news reporter named Cecilia Di Anastasio saying that there's been few cases report, reported to her regarding about women not being able to hire another woman to the leadership position management. Women who are more attractive and sexy are being offered to have a night with boss just to get a promotion for themselves. And lastly, also there are cases about the sexual harassment by the CEO of the company towards the women worker. So I can say that uh, from the first point of that, women not being able to hire another woman to the leadership position management, which is uh, yeah, I can see that there's still a stigma in our community that saying that women cannot being in a leadership position management because they can do many jobs as a man. For the second point, women who are more attractive and sexy are being offered to have a night with boss just to get a promotion. Women that actually use the not the right way just to get a promotion, they just lying to their boss just to get an easy promotion for their job. I mean like for the future, but not a right way for them to get a promotion. And lastly, about cases on the sexual harassment by the CEO of the company, which is related to the Riot Games company. Being These cases have been filed by the female workers and female game developers of that company to the police regarding about the CEO of the company that doing not only sexual harassment but through I mean like not only through the verbal but also from the action of the CEO itself. So yeah, I can see the conclusion is there were many factors that not only affect the players but also the game developer itself because it burdening them to work. I mean like more than the average hours because they need just to do the new updating, the new features to the game just to satisfy the player of the game. But this also shows that the players been shows the bright side of the video game industry without knowing that the real dark side of the video game industry being trying to keep hidden from the player side because they didn't want you to see the real side of video game industry, the real pain of the video game industry. And we also see that in this video game industry also shows that there were gender discrimination, especially towards women, uh, which is some examples already being shown, such as the uses of sexy women to portray the game's popularity. I mean, to make the game's more popularity, they use the sexy woman just to portray in the game. I mean, the cover of the game, in the game itself. And also, there were a case on about sexual harassment, not only from the man or the worker itself, but also from the management, the top management itself. Uh, this kind of bad thing or dark side need to be take action by someone or any people or any organization just to help the video game industry are not being taken as easy right now. We can see right now, and hopefully the welfare of the workers and the game developers are being taken very well. So thank you for listening to my informative speech. If you have any question, you can put your comment on down below. So thank you.